Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely demystify something that has literally fascinated human beings for centuries. Luck. We usually think of it as this mysterious invisible force, right? Like some people just seem to coast through life experiencing constant good fortune, while others, well, they feel like they're permanently plagued by bad luck. But today, we're stripping away all that magic and looking squarely at the hard science. We're going to explore the actual psychological and behavioral factors that dictate why some folks just appear luckier than the rest of us. Let's get into it.
So it's the ultimate question, isn't it? Are some people just born lucky? Honestly, when you see someone constantly landing the absolute perfect job, meeting the perfect partner, or, just stumbling into incredible opportunities left and right, it's incredibly easy to assume they won some sort of cosmic lottery. We've all been there, wondering if luck is just a random, uncontrollable force. Or is there actually a hidden scientific framework that the so-called lucky ones are unconsciously using to their advantage?
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The myth of randomness. How we usually see luck. Traditionally, luck is defined as the experience of favorable or unfavorable outcomes largely influenced by chance. It sounds exactly like a random roll of the dice, doesn't it? But actually, here is where the science takes a pretty sharp turn. Researchers have found that the actual feeling of being lucky or unlucky is profoundly affected by how you perceive and react to those random events. Sure, chance might deliver the event itself, but your perception? That totally dictates whether it becomes a lucky break or just another missed opportunity.
Section 2. The science of luck. Rewiring your brain for fortune.
If we really want to understand how lucky people think, we have to look at these two cognitive biases. Now, on the left side, we've got selective attention. People with a positive outlook literally notice and remember positive events while almost completely overlooking the negatives. It's like their brain is selectively editing their memory, which naturally makes them feel luckier. Then, on the right side, there's confirmation bias. Think about it. When a lucky person faces an ambiguous situation, something that could go either way, good or bad, they naturally interpret it favorably. This completely reinforces their own belief in their good luck. Add in a layer of general optimism where they actually expect good things to happen, and boom, you have a brain that is literally wired to spot opportunities.
Now, these cognitive biases, they translate directly into real-world action, specifically the behavioral traits of the lucky. Because these folks expect good outcomes, they tend to take more calculated risks. They also engage in way more social interactions. We're talking more networking, more chance conversations, more asking for advice. And hey, when they do fail, because everyone does, they are highly resilient. They just see setbacks as temporary, so they bounce back and try again. This combination of being totally open to new experiences and carrying high confidence basically means they're generating a massive volume of opportunities. Seriously, if you roll the dice 100 times more than the next person, you are absolutely going to get more lucky rolls. It's just math.
Moving on to Section 3, the anatomy of bad luck. Why bad things keep happening.
So why do some people genuinely feel cursed? Like a constant stream of bad things just keeps happening to them over and over. And this brilliantly illustrates the divide between these mindsets, which is quite striking. Over on the left, we have the lucky outlook we just talked about, optimistic, actively seeking new opportunities. But contrast that with the right side, the unlucky outlook. People who believe they're unlucky often fall into a complete self-fulfilling prophecy. Because they expect bad outcomes, their actions and decisions are negatively influenced right out of the gate. They actively avoid risks or new opportunities entirely, mostly out of a fear of failure. But here's the kicker. By trying to protect themselves, they actually reduce their chances of ever encountering any positive surprises.
When we look a bit deeper at the roots of bad luck, sure, we see those self-fulfilling negative prophecies, but there's also something else, chronic stress. Science actually shows that chronic stress and a pessimistic outlook impair your decision-making and significantly reduce your focus. It creates this sort of tunnel vision where negative events suddenly become much more apparent and frequent to you. Now, to be completely fair and impartial about the research, we absolutely have to acknowledge that last point, external factors. Let's be real, sometimes bad luck just isn't in your head. Completely uncontrollable circumstances, like sudden health issues, terrible economic conditions, or environmental disasters, those definitely contribute to repeated misfortunes. But how you respond to those external factors, that still matters immensely.
Okay, Section 4. The 3 pillars of luck. The actionable formula.
So how exactly do we take control of what we actually can control?
Well, this right here is the actionable, scientific formula that lucky people use to essentially manufacture their own opportunities. Let's look at the sequence. Step 1 is observation. Lucky people stay super alert and open-minded, which gives them this heightened awareness to capitalize on chance events that, honestly, most others just walk right past. Step 2 is hard work. Putting in the effort increases your skills and readiness. It's all about being prepared so that when you do observe a lucky chance, you actually have the tools to act on it. And finally, step 3 is planning. Effective planning improves your ability to foresee potential outcomes. By setting clear goals, you dramatically increase your chances of experiencing a truly beneficial event.
Section 5. Mastering Luck in Life. Applying the formula daily.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these pillars apply across your career, relationships, and personal growth. Let's break it down. In your career, observation means actively noticing market trends. Hard work means constantly improving your skills, and planning, that means setting step-by-step goals so you're actually ready for that sudden promotion when it pops up. Now, if we look at relationships, observation is simply being open to meeting new people and recognizing mutual interest. The hard work is nurturing that connection through empathy, and the planning is setting clear intentions about what kind of partner you truly want. And finally, for personal growth, it's all about being mindful of your flaws, practicing new skills, and setting realistic milestones. You are essentially weaving a net to catch good fortune in literally every aspect of your life.
Let's back up that entire strategy with some specific science, right? Why does this actually work? Well, in your career, research shows that people who build strong professional networks experience way more luck, simply because they get insider information and referrals way before anyone else does. In relationships, studies consistently find that people with a positive attitude and social confidence naturally attract more friends and partners. Plus, their optimism really helps them survive romantic setbacks. And when it comes to personal growth, the science of neuroplasticity literally proves that consistent effort physically changes the brain. Think about that for a second. You are quite literally turning your hard work into neurological lucky breaks.
Now, a major roadblock you absolutely have to avoid here is the fixed mindset. If you've been feeling unlucky in your personal development, honestly, it's often just the result of a fixed mindset, that belief that your abilities are totally set in stone and just can't be changed. This completely blocks out luck. Why? Because you end up avoiding challenges and you give up way too soon after a failure. The antidote to this, according to positive psychology, is self-efficacy. Just believing in your own ability to succeed builds the exact resilience you need to keep rolling those dice until you finally hit a winning combination.
Bringing us to the takeaway, cultivating your own fortune.
We've covered a ton of ground today, right? From cognitive biases all the way to neuroplasticity. So the crucial point is that luck isn't just something you catch out of thin air, it is something you actively cultivate. And I think this is perfectly summarized by the quote, "Luck is often the byproduct of preparation meeting opportunity." Look, you obviously can't control every random event that happens out there in the world, but you absolutely can control your preparation. By staying observant, putting in the hard work to level up your skills, and actively planning for the future, you are essentially setting up the perfect conditions for good fortune to come find you.
Understanding this science really does change everything. It takes all that power away from random, blind chance and puts it right back into your hands. As the science shows us, your fortune is just waiting to be manufactured. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. What lucky break will you prepare for today? Are you going to start networking a little more this week? Or maybe shift your mindset to spot the silver lining in a recent setback? The choice is entirely up to you.